Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast. This is your escape for real, unscripted conversations about sports, hobbies, life, and storytelling. No scripts, no forced takes, just Man Cave talk. Now, here's your host, Dan Kasper.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Man Cave Podcast. And it's been a while, I think, since we've had JC, Justus Cleveland.
I really have.
On the pod for a while. So
you blacklisted me. It was
I did.
Really, I'm sorry. I said I was sorry.
You didn't give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple, YouTube.
I got fat fingers. No.
So, well, we appreciate you. I mean, this is... If it's Masters Week, we got to bring JC in to talk some golf, right?
Yes.
So happy Masters Week, happy birthday week.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is. It's
what day exactly is this? If anybody wants to send you some treats,
April 10th.
April 10th. All right.
You don't have to send me treats, but I'll take any food if you.
Oh man. Oh, you and I are both golfers. You and I. Both,
I claim to be. Yes.
We love Masters Week. We love the Masters. It is. Sports-wise, number one on my bucket list.
Same here.
For you, too. So it's one of those, though, too. Like, I kind of want to register for the drawing, but then if I get that chance and then I look at the bill and I'm like, oh, can I do it?
Right. It's like Packers season tickets.
Yeah.
It's like, it sounds like a good in theory until you're like, wow.
Yeah. Because I know I put my name on a list. I don't know how it got lost, but I stopped getting the postcards. But I'm not going to say anything because it's the price tag now because I was a kid when I did it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, you know what? I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay right now.
So. Do I want a house or do I want tickets to?
Yeah, and I don't want to be one of those that's selling them off and making money.
Yeah,
and all. I don't want to go through that sort of thing. So, but we're recording this on Monday of Masters Week and such. So we've had some of the events going on. Which I'll be honest, I forgot about this one. They just did it. The past champions get to play around with a guest of their choosing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like this past weekend. I'm like, I don't know if I never knew that or I forgot about that, but that's a really cool thing. So like they had, Freddie Couples was out there, Rory was out there. There was champions. Gary Player was playing around.
Of course, Gary Player right? Doing push-ups.
Yeah, I thought that's another cool element to the Masters.
It really is. Like the whole week is something that is just it's almost storybook in a way. Like just with something like that, just the way that place looks is something completely different to anywhere else in the golf world. And then you have, the par 3 contest. And, the families, I think back to about 5, maybe even 10 years ago when, Jack Nicklaus's grandson hits the hole-in-one. Rory's daughter making the putt with Shane Lowry cheering her on. I think that was last year or 2 years ago. So there's little things like that. It almost feels like you're going home. Because it's the only one that's played in the same place every year. So there's just this uniqueness to it. For a lot of us growing up, it was the one that we really got to see, is the one that hooked you into golf, was watching. And that for me it was. Before I was even a golfer, I would watch the Masters coverage.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that has always been there, and it's just like a warm hug. It's like a warm hug when it's Masters Week and you get to sit back and watch 4 rounds and knowing that there's going to be drama.
It's kind of like NASCAR in a sense where the big event kind of kicks off. I know they've had tournaments, but it kind of kicks off the major season, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And I think for us, it was kind of interesting the last couple of years, or a couple of years ago, they asked, I think it was Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, your favorite majors and such, and Masters wasn't necessarily on top for those guys. I think for different reasons.
Yeah. And I know Jack, I've read his book, and a lot of it was just because that he likes the change.
Yeah.
He loves Augusta.
Yep.
But he likes the change that like the U.S. Open and all the other ones have with it. But I think they would all just it's maybe like in its own category in a way,
right?
Compared to those other majors.
And it's interesting too when you think about the Masters. Obviously, it's very exclusive, But for us, like general people, how much we love the Masters, yet it's so it's kind of an interesting dynamic when you think about it that way.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, you can get to a U.S. Open, I'm going to do a couple PGA Championship Ryder Cups, but that's probably the hardest get in golf.
And maybe that's why we love it so much too, because of the exclusivity. Like it's something you're chasing sort of thing.
It's this elusive kind of thing that you just not. If I do go, it could happen at some point, but there's a good chance I might make my whole life without ever going to the Masters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is. It's just something kind of just this aura. It's just a mysterious aura of this place in Augusta that just has so much history and drama built into it. And that's the other thing is like you can go to every hole, especially on the back nine.
Yeah.
And you can think of big moments that have happened at each one of those holes.
Yep.
And you recognize it instantly. Like you don't have to learn the course because you know the course, which as a fan is completely different than, you have obviously you have like the Houston Open and stuff that just happened, but you're not studying that one as much as you've studied. You've seen these shots of these guys on 18.
Yep.
You know where that pin's going to be. You know what putt they're going to have to make.
Yep.
So it really has this just different aura to it than any other tournament.
And, I mean, for crying out loud, I wanted to plant azaleas at my house because of the Masters.
Right.
I could never keep them alive, though, because of the weather, I think. And that, but it's like pimento cheese sandwiches. Got to have that, It's almost like football or the Super Bowl in that essence.
And I love it. You could make it's like the Lambeau Field of golf.
Yeah.
Like everything's kind of a throwback.
Yep.
Even the prices.
Yep.
Like they keep everything like that. You're not allowed to bring cell phones, so you can't take pictures during the rounds.
Yep.
So you don't have people like every other tournament you see now, it's the phone's up in front of them.
Yep.
But it's the old school people just watching.
Yeah.
And having to stare and see that. So I think it makes it just the white jumpsuits on the caddies.
Yep.
Just little things like that.
No weird menu items,
No.
It's straight up like you mentioned, bag of chips, lemonade, cookies.
Fans got to keep it within, like you can't be unruly.
Yep.
Or you're going to get kicked out.
Yep.
So you kind of don't get the stupid getting the whole screamers at every par five on the tee shot. So I'm okay with that.
Same here.
No Baba Booies and all the, it's like, those are things I don't need when I'm watching a golf tournament. So that makes me happy.
Yep. This was a story I don't think I've ever told you, but when I used to work at the YMCA in Wisconsin Rapids, I was a sports director, and there was a member there, and he used to be in the military and such, but he told me one time, and I don't know if he was joking, but he was serious with me with this. He golfed Augusta National, and he told me, we know what a beaver tail is, right? I mean, you hit the big divot and all that. Apparently he did that, but apparently he took it home and planted it in his front yard in Wisconsin Rapids. So I don't know if that part's true, but it sounded like it was either he believed it or such, but I'm like, okay, that's a cool story. But I don't know if I would plant it in my front yard. I might just have a pot, keep it in the house, and keep that thing going.
I would just be afraid at some point somebody from Augusta National is going to show up and try to take it back. Sir, we know that you have some grass from our
right.
We don't allow patrons to take home. That's the other thing. Not fans, patrons.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome, though. I would probably want to do the same. I'm sure there's guys just picking up pieces of grass. I remember when I worked, covering Packer games. Like, I remember there was a chunk of sod, like, just sitting on the ground. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I grabbed it. Now I have, like, somewhere a chunk of sod from Lambeau Field.
Well, they sold when they replaced that.
Yes,
people still have them in their freezers, I think, too.
Exactly. So, like I say, it's that mystique that you get from a place like that. And I know, like, Augusta National has always been, like, they cater to the military. And that's how I believe Arnie's Army came to be out, is that they were welcoming in, like, free military come in, and a lot of them were following Arnold Palmer, and hence one of the writers coined the phrase Arnie's Army. So
and I think during World War II, so like when Bobby Jones, if I remember this right, Bobby Jones and such started it, and that, like, the cattle for the Army would graze the fairways for World War II and kind of like that. So it's like, which I think Augusta is what got me hooked on the history of Bobby Jones and such too.
Yep.
Introduced, because I remember in high school I did a research paper on Bobby Jones. Like, I was just like the swing and listening and watching the movies. Bobby Jones, Stroke of Genius, underrated golf movie. If you haven't seen it. Yep. Legend of Bagger Vance has Bobby Jones. You talk about the swing and all that on there
exactly.
too. It's like, so that got me hooked on that. I think people kind of history goes along. Bobby Jones was a really dang good golfer. If he would have turned pro, maybe he is talked a little bit more about.
Right. I don't think people realize that he played his whole career as an amateur.
Yeah.
Retired early because of health ailments and kind of
was like a lawyer, was a real estate guy.
Right. And just said, hey, let's build this course and be a big test. And it has stood the test of time. So it's amazing that obviously it wasn't a major when it first started.
Right.
But they built up the mystique of it, and now we have the greats. If you haven't won at Augusta, it's kind of hard to see your name up there as those all-time greats.
I wouldn't, we talk about, I would love to golf there, but I mean, if I had an indisposable income and, some connections, I wouldn't mind having a cabin at Augusta National.
Right.
That might be the ultimate.
Yeah.
With that. Or
and it's a small town. Augusta's not that big. I mean, it's not small, but it's like, it's not a major metro area. So you kind of still have that going to it. And and whatever they need for that course, they do. They get to do. And it's if you look at the early pictures though, and look at it now, it's a very different course. Like just the look to it. You didn't have like those sand traps weren't perfectly manicured like they were. They didn't have like the azaleas weren't right there, but every year it's a postcard. It really is. And that's credit to that grounds crew and how hard they've had storms come through trees, and then the next
I remember a couple years ago was like the 2 trees that fell down, like the big old pines.
And they were gone.
Yeah.
Or there was always I think it's Augusta where it's like mysteriously trees will disappear. Overnight, and you come back and it's gone.
Yep. So gone. Where'd it go? Before we get to picks and such, because I feel like, when it comes to Masters and that, we think about the iconic finishes, we think about the iconic rounds, and especially, obviously Sundays and such. Is there a champion? Is there a round when you think about the Masters that really stands out to you the most? I mean, obviously Rory last year winning it, completing the career Grand Slam, and I think I saw Golf Digest, or it might have been somebody else that listed the top 5 Masters finishes or such, and Jack was number 5 at 86. Tiger was on there a couple times. Rory, Phil was on there too, and such. Is there a moment? Is there a champion? Is there a round that kind of really stands out to you the most when you think about it?
It's funny because I think it was the 98. I know it was in high school. It might have been the Marco Mira year. I can't remember. Okay. That's the one. But what stands out about it was I think it was the last time that Jack finished in the top 10. And so Jack would have been 60, around 60, because he was 40.
What, he was 40? What, he won in 86, right? Or 46 at 86?
Yeah. So, he's almost 50, 60 years old, and he was competitive right down to the end. So, I think because I had just started golfing, but I had always watched I don't know why it was, but I'd always watched the Masters, but I wasn't a golfer yet. So, it's like just seeing, I've always loved when like a legend like that makes a run. The Tom Watson Open Championship one that'll always
I remember watching
every shot of that back 9 and him just coming. So it's always like when somebody like that can, and I think that drove me to want to get out there more. And this is right at the start of Tiger coming out there. So and then I think last year's is an all timer. How many times it looked like Rory had it won, how many times it looked like he lost it. Bryson being right there, and just 2 different distinct personalities. I think back to like when Phil first finally won, getting a major
jump and all that. Yep.
My opinion on Phil might have changed in the last few years, but I'll always remember that. So it's just going down to those final, that 18th hole, not knowing. Bubba Watson coming out of the trees to get the win there. Phil had to do like the same thing.
Yep. Greg Norman's collapses. And such on there too. I got to go to 05 at Tiger, and it was at Chris DeMarco in that final round. The chip, because I will remember this. I was in college, and I'm watching it. I was sitting at my desk working on something, and TV's right to my right, and I watched Tiger's chip, and we all know it. It rolls, and it stopped. And I'm like, and I turned away to go back to work, and all of a sudden I heard the roar, and I'm like, what? And I turned back and looked, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
I don't know if I think either Jack's putt on the back 9 in 86, raising up his, getting the birdie there.
Yep.
Or that one from Tiger are the 2 most iconic shots I'll always remember.
Yes.
the DeMarco, I honestly was probably cheering for Chris DeMarco because I was kind of like, I was always a contrarian. Like when somebody's like that good, I always kind of cheer for like, I want to see the underdog get the win.
Yep.
But as soon as that went in, I'm like, it's over. And it really wasn't, because that was actually, I think he came back and bogeyed the next hole. Like he struggled, but yeah, that moment when it comes down to it, and you can watch that replay 1,000 times.
Yep.
And when it trickles in, it
And
just,
you got Vern on the call.
yes, yeah. And Vern was on the call, I think, for the Jack one too.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, sir. Like it again. Those are just moments that you get from this tournament that you'll always remember.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be weird one day. It's kind of weird now not having Vern on there, but when Jim Nance decides to call it,
Right.
those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
To be the lead guy on the Masters coverage.
And I hope we have, I think Nance is kind of toned down a lot of he's not doing like basketball anymore.
Yep.
So I think he's kind of toning it down that way, but I think it'll be tough to get him away from the Masters. He's a golfer.
Yep. He's got the hole in his backyard.
Yeah, they showed that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And that's the thing too, is like you have these announcers that you kind of get to know, and you get to the personality of the course, the personality of the broadcasts.
Yep.
Now, granted, this year, make sure you check your schedule because I believe the early is on Prime.
Yep.
ESPN then gets the early rounds.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
kind of like
different now.
baseball.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Good
but
way.
you can also go to like the Masters website is probably one of the best ones. Like you can pretty much.
I have it up during the show.
Yeah.
And just watching, the honorary tee-offs. And
you won't
that
miss a
stuff.
shot. Like I think they still show every shot of every golf. Like so, if something happens,
Yep.
it's there. So.
And it's one of the few, like Sunday, straight through, like limited commercials and all that too. It's like they could cash in on that if they wanted to. It's the Masters, for crying out loud.
Masters Sunday is just something in itself too. Like you just wait. You're waiting and waiting for them to get on. And now, it's changed, but it used to be they wouldn't show the front nine.
Yeah.
So it was only the back nine. It was weird that they weren't like that proud of the front nine, even though compared to the back has all the personality, but the front is beautiful.
Yep.
It has its own challenges too. So and I'm glad that you get to see a ton of that coverage there. And Sunday is always special.
Before Masters picks here, can I just say this? If anybody, for the last few years, I've wanted to do something, and I feel like there's something there, but we're not far from a little town called Augusta. Can we get like a mini golf course put in there or something so we can?
They'd have to like change the name so they wouldn't get
right. Just like something else.
Yeah.
There's something there we got to do.
Somebody's got a
year.
farm field they're willing to donate.
One hole. I don't care. We got to do something over there just for this time of year so I could do a radio show from Augusta.
Oh, that would be great.
Right. I feel like there's something there. So, but all right. Are you going to go with your boy, Scottie? Is this where you're going to go with predictions here?
I've been on the Scottie bandwagon before. That the bandwagon was really small. I've always, I remember seeing him at the Ryder Cup in the 2020, but technically in 2021 Ryder Cup when he made the team, but he was still kind of relatively unknown.
Yep.
I just like his style, his personality. I think it, in a way, I wish I was his skill, but I feel like I have a similar personality to Scottie Scheffler, where he's so laid back.
Yep.
He does get upset, but he doesn't get crazy. So I won't bet against him. He's one of my, he would be my favorite to go, but can Rory find his game? Yeah. Or is he kind of like, now he's got that career Grand Slam, that big exhale that came with that?
Yeah.
Has that kind of fun. And you got to remember, it's that right to left. That whole course is designed for right to left guys. So you got to be able to play that draw.
Yep.
And I kind of looked at like, who are the players that play that well? A Tommy Fleetwood, a guy who's now, got that monkey off his back of not having that PJ Tour win.
Yep.
Does he make the run? I like Cam Young. I just like Cam Young as just like Mr. America there from the Ryder Cup. That one guy who kind of held it all together. And then it can't discount Bryson. As much as Bryson's like, he's like, with how much Scottie's personality I love, Bryson's sometimes great on people.
Yep.
But the way he played against Rory with the length, he's been on a roll
Did you
on the
see
live
this
tour.
thing about like the age, years sort of thing? Like it's supposed to be Bryson this year based off this formula.
For
to win.
and he's the one guy who went to live and I thought just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
So I would, if he's up there battling for it wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Reed, a guy who's won before,
Yep.
and again, not a personality that a lot of people love, but he's been playing really well. Played in the DP, leading the money's list there, so he's going to be back on tour.
Yep.
More than likely next year. So, yeah, I just don't know if there's like is there a dark horse out there that can?
So my pick is a name you haven't mentioned yet. He's not really a dark horse, but he's been pretty consistent. He hasn't won it yet. I'm gonna go with Xander Schauffele.
I figured that's who you were, and he does play the right ball flight.
Mm-hmm.
And last year was kind of a lost year for him with the injuries, but it's a guy who's a proven major winner.
It's still young. I mean, early 30s, I
Yeah.
think. So,
and he plays a lot.
Yeah.
Like the guy's out there even after when he was grinding away with the injury. So that was one that was right there with me too. Like,
Yeah.
I like Xander. I like the way he goes out there, the intensity he has.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna go Scottie because I just can't bet against Scottie because the guy
It is kind of weird. He's just you want to kind of like, all right, he's won enough. He's probably done, and then he's there on Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
Every
John
time.
Rahm's another guy that we haven't even mentioned, but he at Augusta is usually there fighting for it too. So
Yep.
I don't know if there's like, does Koepka have like some magic that comes? He's been playing a lot because he's had to.
Yep.
I mean, if he can find the magic, it's there. Like all these guys know this course, and there is a chance that they can put it together for 4 straight days. Dustin Johnson hasn't been heard of. You haven't heard a peep from him. But man, if muscle memory at that course, Freddie Couples always makes the cut.
Yep.
Because he's played there so much. So
Yep.
VJ will probably make the cut because that man's a machine. So
Right. No kidding. You look at I'm just looking at some of the odds at down there. I mean, you got Justin Thomas who's plus 7,000. So I mean,
there are so many guys that are capable of winning this tournament. Like the PGA Tour is so loaded right now. The world golf scene is so crazy. Mm-hmm. Like it could be somebody we're not even thinking of that makes a run.
Right.
But it's just like hard with the way Scottie just finds he can get in trouble, but he doesn't really ever panic.
Right.
His bad rounds are shooting like even par.
Yeah.
So I think for a guy like that, just the way he plays, he's got to be in contention.
I would agree. Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out and talking some golf, man. I appreciate it.
You know me. It doesn't take much for me to start talking about it. So.
Well, hey, we hope you appreciated all that Masters and golf talk to get us underway for the upcoming golf season and such. That's going to do it for us on this episode of the pod. If you could be a nice gentleman or gentle patron, thank you. Give us a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify and a nice or 5-star rating on Apple and Spotify and a nice review on Apple because it helps the algorithms out there spread the podcast out there. So fairways and greens, everybody. For Justus Cleveland, I'm Dan. We'll talk to you on the next episode of the Man Cave Podcast.